So yes, let's start with the Bible reading. Yeah, Isaiah chapter 2, verse 4. He will judge between the nations and will settle disputes for many peoples. They will beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation will not take up sword against nation, nor will they train for war anymore. And the picture there is the Isaiah War. It's opposite the United Nations in New York. There's, on the other side of the road, there's a cliff. At the bottom of the cliff, there's this wall with this scripture carved into it. So next one. So yes, what we're going to do is look at the Non-Proliferation Treaty. What the expectations. What the expectations are from this treaty, what countries have done in and out of the NPT. I think it's about 12 countries are going to look at just very, very quickly. Then proliferation and disarmament. Then the failures of the NPT, and then the good the NPT has done. This is what we all come for. What good has it done? And then there'd be comments. Time for comments and questions, and then prayer at the end. So the NPT Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. It was open for signatures in 1968 and came into force in 1970. And the structure of it is a preamble and 11 articles. So our favourite article is Article 6. Yeah, yeah. Or you could think of it as 3 pillars. There's the first pillar, non-proliferation. Second pillar, disarmament. Third pillar, peaceful use of nuclear energy. So it's there were 5 countries that had nuclear weapons in 1967 when they started work on the treaty. So there were 5 nuclear weapons countries, and all the other countries didn't have nuclear weapons. So the countries that had nuclear weapons agreed that they were going to share their nuclear technology for peaceful purposes, and that they would disarm. And in return, the countries that didn't have nuclear weapons would agree that they wouldn't get nuclear weapons. And this was because there was great concern that more and more countries were getting nuclear weapons. So they had to do something to stop the proliferation. Oh, so this is our Article 6. Yeah. Each of the parties to the treaty undertake to pursue negotiations in good faith on effective measure relating to the cessation of nuclear arms race at an early date, and to nuclear disarmament, and on a treaty on general and complete disarmament under strict and effective international control. And there's a tapestry of Article 6. So those 5 countries that had nuclear weapons agreed that they were going to get rid of them one day at an early date. So what are the expectations? Yeah, so in 1970, the Non-Proliferation Treaty was supposed to last for 25 years. So you think, well, that'd be plenty of time to get nuclear weapons. They've had nuclear weapons for 25 years. You should better get rid of them in another 25 years. So we'd expect that the world will be free of nuclear weapons by 1995. We'd expect that nuclear energy would only be used for peaceful activities. So the non-nuclear weapon states and us peace campaigners, what did we expect from this treaty? Well, what we really wanted was the ban treaty, the one that we got was agreed in 2017 and came into force in 2021. The treaty on the prohibition of nuclear weapons. That's what we wanted back in 1968. But but we did manage to get the nuclear states to agree to get rid of nuclear weapons. So, yeah, so we expect nuclear weapon should be disarmed to prevent nuclear war, and no new country would acquire nuclear weapons. That's what we have. What did the nuclear weapons state? Perhaps they had different. Perhaps they're hoping to get something different out of this treaty. So perhaps they want to stop other countries getting nuclear weapons. So only they were allowed to have the nuclear weapons and nobody else. So saying it's all right. USA and UK. So it's all right for us to have nuclear weapons. We're the good countries. You don't want the bad people like North Korea and Iran to have nuclear weapons. Or maybe they wanted to use this treaty to give the appearance that they were getting rid of their nuclear weapons. But so we say, why haven't you got rid of nuclear weapons? Oh, we've agreed to the Non-Proliferation Treaty. Look, we are doing something. So the five countries with nuclear weapons are the 5 countries on the Security Council. So maybe that's plus another thing that they're thinking. So it's expectations. Now I'm going to quickly go through some of the countries. The first is the 5 countries that had nuclear weapons in 1970. The United States of America, they got them in 1945. USSR, which later became the Russian Federation. They got their nuclear weapons in 1949. United Kingdom got nuclear weapons in 1952. And France got nuclear weapons in 1960. And China got nuclear weapons in 1964. So the first 3, the USA, USSR, and UK, they ratified the treaty in 1968, but France and China didn't ratify and accede to the treaty till 1992. So they're the 5 countries they're the 5 nuclear weapon states recognised in the treaty. But there are 3 countries that never joined but did get nuclear weapons. That's India, 1974 got nuclear weapons. Pakistan in 1998. and Israel. So Israel has a policy of deliberate ambiguity. So they won't admit or deny that they have nuclear weapons. Yeah, but in 1963, they got nuclear weapons. Mordecai Vanunu was the whistleblower. He revealed Israel's nuclear weapon program, and the old office of CND was named after him. It's named office after him because it's a hero. But in the war, the Israel-Gaza war, the amount of bombs that are being dropped is equivalent to 70 kilotons of TNT, which is twice as much as the equivalent TNT of the two bombs dropped on Japan. So in the Israel-Gaza war, 63,000 people have been killed. So it's just showing that if we do get rid of nuclear weapons, if we do manage to abolish nuclear weapons, conventional weapons can still do just as much damage. So it's Israel. Then there's one country left the NPT to acquire nuclear weapons. That's North Korea. So 1985 it joined, but never complied. 2003 left the NPT. 2006 first nuclear test. So then there's nuclear weapon sharing. So the countries are in the NPT as non-nuclear weapon states, but they have weapons stationed there that are under the control of another country. So that's Belgium, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, and Turkey have NATO nuclear weapons. And Belarus, so when Belarus got independence, there were some USSR weapons in its country. So we had them removed and sent them back to Russia, and then joined the NPT. But then in the Ukraine war, Russia's gone and stationed, they allowed Russia to station nuclear weapons in their country again. Then breaking the NPT to develop nuclear weapons. This is Iran. So in 1970, Iran ratified the NPT, ratified and acceded to the NPT. But from about 2003, Iran's been enriching uranium. It's claiming it's for nuclear power. Yeah, but I think it's so. Yeah, so I've been to meetings of the International Liberation Association. They're campaigning about getting political prisoners released in Iran. And they say Iran was developing nuclear weapons. and that Iran is supporting Hamas. And the International Liberation Association, they said, well, we want a free Iran that has a secular government and has no nuclear weapons. So it's Iran. So some good countries that gave up their nuclear weapons. So these are countries that gave up their nuclear weapons and then joined the NPT. So South Africa, starting in about 1989, it was dismantling its nuclear weapons. I think it signed up to the NPT in 1991 as a country that's getting rid of its nuclear weapons. And then when the International Atomic Energy Authority was satisfied that South Africa had disarmed, they were able to join as a non-nuclear weapon. And then there's three countries, Belarus, Ukraine, and Kazakhstan. They gained independence from the USSR, but there were Soviet weapons in their countries. So they sent them back to Russia and then joined the NPT. So I put Belarus in brackets because it is now has Russian weapons in the country again. So these are okay. So this is the proliferation and disarmament. This is, I think, this chart is what inspired me to do this talk. I saw this chart and it looks like in this chart we've got nuclear weapons coming to a peak and then going down again. So the number of warheads. This is just showing USSR or Russia and the United States. We see both countries getting more and more weapons, and then they reduce them. So when I first saw this chart, I thought, is it the NPT that made them reduce their weapons, both Russia and USSR, or so Russia and USA? Yes, I was hoping to say list all the reductions in weapons inspired by the Non-Proliferation Treaty, but I don't think that's caused it. I think it was when the Soviet Union was disbanded and countries in Eastern Europe got their independence, and the East and West Germany were reunited. And I think it was that will cause reduction in nuclear weapons. But so we passed extra encouragement for this graph. There are less nuclear warheads now than there were in about the mid-80s, in 1986. So this is the proliferation disarmament. So this is it. This is the bigger version of it. So this is the list of how many warheads there are in the world today. So you've got the 9 countries with nuclear weapons, and then you've got the 6 nuclear sharing countries. Yes. Oh yeah, what I meant to say is I'm sorry that I did most of my research from Wikipedia. So being lazy, and so they could be inaccurate as well. This is, yeah, so there's a page on Wikipedia, list of states of nuclear weapons. This is where I copied these numbers from. So the failures of the NPT. Yeah, there were 5 countries with nuclear weapons at the start, and now there's 9. The original 5 nuclear weapon states have not disarmed. And this belief in nuclear umbrella. Perhaps there are countries thinking, oh, well, yeah, there's still, well, the nuclear weapon states have a belief that they're going to be kept safe by the nuclear weapons, and they want other countries to believe the same thing. This is what I mean by the nuclear umbrella. This belief that nuclear weapons will keep you safe, which I don't agree with. So I have managed to find some good things that come out of the NPT. So South Africa gave up its nuclear weapons and joined the NPT. Ukraine, Belarus, and Kazakhstan gave up their nuclear weapons and joined the NPT. So the NPT has limited the number of countries with nuclear weapons. So there's only 9 countries with nuclear weapons. It's too many. But I did read, or on Wikipedia, that's what I was reading, that there were fears that there may be up to 40 countries could get nuclear weapons. So certainly has stopped 40 countries getting nuclear weapons. There's only 9. But that's too many. So then this is a paragraph that I copied from Wikipedia. Several additional measures have been adopted, strengthening the NPT and broader nuclear non-proliferation regimes, and make it difficult for states to acquire the capability to produce nuclear weapons, including the export controls of the Nuclear Supplies Group and the enhanced verification measures of the International Atomic Energy Agency additional protocol. So maybe in the comments, people could say other things that NPT failed to do and perhaps other things that it has achieved. So summary. So at the end of the 1960s, something had to be done to stop more and more countries getting nuclear weapons. So in 1975, countries had nuclear weapons. So 4 new countries have acquired nuclear weapons since then. 4 countries have given up nuclear weapons. USA and Russia have reduced the number of weapons. So that's it. And comments and questions. So